You're 3.5 feet tall. Everything with teeth knows you're breakfast-sized. And right now, 17 pairs of eyes are watching you from the tall grass. Forget everything you think you know about human evolution. Your ancestors weren't mighty hunters. They weren't apex predators. 2 million years ago, as Homo habilis in prehistoric Africa, you had a 70% chance of being eaten alive before age 15. Your brain? Smaller than a chimp's. Your weapons? Rocks you spent hours shaping, just to crack open bones that lions didn't want. Saber-toothed cats specifically evolved to crush primate skulls. Your skull. Crocodiles were named human eaters because of all the Homo habilis bones found in their stomachs. And those painted dogs? They didn't kill you first. They started eating while you watched. But here's the thing that should terrify you. Every single human alive today, including you, only exists because one of these 3-foot-tall, terrified creatures survived long enough to have a baby. So the question isn't if you would survive 24 hours as Homo habilis. It's which predator would eat you first. This is what 24 hours as humanity's weakest ancestor actually looked like. And warning, once you see how your ancestors really lived, you'll never complain about your life again. The acacia thorn enters your foot before your eyes even open. You're 3.5 feet tall, a child's height in your world, but you're fully grown. The pain shoots through your leg as you pull the thorn free, blood mixing with yesterday's dirt. Around you, 70 bodies stir in the pre-dawn darkness. The smell hits first unwashed flesh, rotting meat from yesterday's scavenged carcass, fierce sweat that never fully dries in the African heat. Your brain, 650 cubic centimeters of desperate intelligence, fires awake, not because of the thorn, because of the silence. The hyenas stopped laughing an hour ago. That means they're hunting. You're Homo habilis. The handyman archaeologists will name you. But right now, you're breakfast-sized, and everything with teeth knows it. The darkness isn't your friend. Your eyes, adapted for daylight, see only shadows that could be bushes or could be death. A child whimpers quickly silenced by its mother's hand. Sound travels, and Dinofelis, the false saber-tooth, hunts at dawn. It prefers small prey. It prefers things your size. Your group begins the morning count. 68, 69, 70. Everyone survived the night. This time, the eldest male, maybe 25 years old, ancient by your standards, makes the decision. Move now, while predators are still digesting their night kills. Your stomach cramps with hunger, but hunting isn't an option. You don't hunt. You hide. You wait. You steal. You're not the apex predator. You're the apex opportunity. Standing upright hurts. Your body is wrong, too ape for the ground, too human for the trees. Long arms that remember swinging, short legs that can't outrun anything. Your evolution's awkward teenage phase, and nature has no patience for awkward. The group moves as one organism, children in the center, males on the edges, throwing rocks at shadows. Not because they're brave, because showing fear means being culled from the herd. Every step is calculated. The tall grass could hide lions. The trees could drop leopards. The water you desperately need is where crocodiles wait with infinite patience. Dawn in prehistoric Africa doesn't bring hope, it brings visibility. And for Homo habilis, being seen usually means being eaten. The vultures told you where to go, 18 of them, circling a quarter-mile west. Something died in the night, something big enough to feed your entire group if you can steal even scraps. Your nose, pathetically weak compared to the hyenas tracking you, catches hints of decay on the wind. Fresh death, maybe 3 hours old. The group moves in practiced formation. You've done this dance 1,000 times, and still, half of you won't see 15 years. The teenagers throw stones ahead, checking for ambush predators. The mothers carry infants who know instinctively not to cry. You grip your tool, a rock you spent an hour shaping yesterday. One sharp edge that means the difference between eating and starving. Your foot still bleeds. The flies have found it, and their buzzing advertises your weakness. In this world, limping means you're the slowest. Being slowest means you're today's sacrifice if something charges. You force yourself to walk normally, swallowing the pain like bad meat. The kill site appears through the thorn bush, an infant elephant, probably separated from its herd. The lions have eaten their fill, the soft organs, the easy meat. Hyenas got the second serving. Now it's your turn, if you're fast enough. But you're never alone at a carcass. 3 hyenas remain, their jaws capable of crushing bones your tools can barely scratch. They outweigh you 3 to 1. Their bite force could snap your femur like a twig, but they're full, lazy with meat sleep. This is your window. The males rush forward, screaming, throwing stones with accuracy born from desperation. Not trying to hurt, trying to irritate. Make it more annoying to stay than leave. The hyenas snarl, snap, but slowly retreat. They'll be back. You have minutes. Your gang swarms the carcass like army ants. No coordination, just desperate efficiency. The sharp stones saw through hide that your teeth could never penetrate. Someone discovers the femur is still intact, the marrow inside untouched. That's 1,500 calories of fat and protein. That's survival. You hack at ligaments with your shaped rock. Your tiny hands, so human-like but so weak, struggling with tendons evolved to support tons. The smell makes you gag and salivate simultaneously. Rotting meat is still meat when you're starving. A child screams. Leopard. It must have been watching from the tree above, waiting for you to be distracted. It has a 5-year-old by the skull. Canines penetrating like the tooth marks archaeologists will find millennia later. The mother attacks with her digging stick, meaningless against 150 pounds of muscle. But the maternal instinct doesn't calculate odds. The leopard drags the child up the tree. You all watch, frozen. There's nothing to do. It's already over. The crunching sounds will haunt the mother until her own death, probably within the year, because mothers who lose children stop eating, stop fighting, stop surviving. The group returns to frantic scavenging, working around the spreading pool of the child's blood. You crack open the elephant femur, your hands sticky with marrow and grief. In 10 minutes, you extract enough calories to keep you alive another day. The hyenas are already returning, and behind them, you see the darker shapes of what might be wild dogs. Time's up. Grab what you can carry and run. You're Homo Habilis. You're always running. The sun is a predator you can't escape. It beats down 105 degrees Fahrenheit, cooking your exposed skin that lost most of its hair for reasons evolution hasn't fully explained yet. You can sweat an advantage that will one day make your descendants persistence hunters. But right now, you're just dehydrated prey. And every predator knows the waterhole is where desperate things gather. Your group has been watching the water for an hour. It's a muddy pool, more bacteria than liquid, but your body doesn't care about tomorrow's parasites when today's thirst is killing you. The tracks in the mud tell stories. Fresh leopard, yesterday's buffalo, and the deep grooves of something massive. Dinotherium, an elephant with downward tusks that could impale you to the ground. But worse are the logs that aren't logs. Crocodilus anthropophagus, the man-eater. 20 feet of patience, with jaws that can bite through your entire torso. One floats 30 feet from shore, only eyes visible. It's been watching too. Crocodiles can fast for a year, but they prefer fresh meat. They prefer your size. The group makes its choice, the same choice every day. The fastest runners approach the water while others throw rocks at the crocodile. Not to hurt it. Your stones bounce off its armor like raindrops, just to let it know you see it. Sometimes that's enough. Sometimes, you're not one of the runners. Your bleeding foot makes you liability, not asset. You watch from the thorny brush as 3 males sprint to the water's edge. They drop, drink desperately, eyes scanning. Every second at the water multiplies death probability. The attack comes from where no one was watching. A second crocodile, buried in mud, explodes from the shallows. Its jaws close on a teenager's leg with the sound of breaking branches. He screams a sound that will bring every predator within a mile. The others run. There's no heroism in your world, only mathematics. One death or everyone's death. The crocodile death rolls. That ancient technique that tears limbs from sockets. The water turns red, then brown, then still. The teenager's hand breaks the surface once, fingers grasping at air that can't save him. Then, nothing. His mother makes a sound that isn't quite scream, isn't quite moan. It's the sound of genes failing to propagate. The worst sound in nature. Your turn. You approach the water upstream from the blood, knowing every predator in the area is now interested in this spot. You drink like the animal you are, fast, messy, never stopping your scan for movement. The water tastes like mud and death, but your cells sing with hydration. Something moves in your peripheral vision. You don't investigate. Investigation kills the curious. You just run, water sloshing in your stomach, making you want to vomit. But vomiting means losing water, and losing water means returning to this killing ground sooner. The group reassembles 100 yards away, automatically counting. 68 now. By nightfall, probably less. The mother of the taken child has already stopped eating. She'll be gone within days, her body understanding what her brain can't process that without offspring. Survival is just delayed death. You're Homo Habilis, and water costs blood. Everything costs blood. Your hands are bleeding, but the stone is finally sharp. You've been napping for an hour, sitting in what passes for shade, a dying acacia that provides more thorns than shadow. Each strike of rock on rock sends vibrations through your arthritic joints. You're 17 years old, and already your body is failing. But you need this tool. Without it, you're just soft meat in a hard world. The technique is simple but unforgiving. Strike the core stone at exactly 67 degrees and a useful flake breaks off. 66 degrees, nothing. 68 degrees, the whole core shatters. Your brain understands this at an intuitive level that won't be mathematically described for 2 million years. Around you, others work their own stones. There's no specialization, everyone must make tools or die. A grandmother, 28 years old and ancient, teaches her granddaughter the grip. The child is 4, her motor skills barely developed, but she must learn. Those who can't make tools can't access marrow. Those who can't access marrow lack the calories for brain development. Those with underdeveloped brains become leopard food. The irony would be delicious if you could conceptualize it. Your brain needs tools to feed itself. The calories required to understand tools. A commotion breaks the rhythmic tapping. Scouts have returned with news that sets everyone moving. Lions have made a kill 2 valleys over a zebra. Barely touched. The lions are sleeping off their feast. This is the opportunity your group lives for. But there's a problem. Another Homo Habilis group has already found it. You see them as you crest the hill, 40 individuals, smaller than your group, but desperate. They're from the territory where the drought hit harder, where the seasonal pond never filled. You can see their ribs, count their vertebrae through their skin. Starvation makes everything dangerous. The two groups face each other over the zebra carcass. No words, language is still 100,000 years away from complexity. But the message is clear, through gestures and thrown stones. This is ours. Leave or fight. Fighting means injuries. Injuries mean infection. Infection means death. But leaving means no calories today. And your group has 3 pregnant females who need the protein. The mathematics of survival are calculating in 70 brains simultaneously. A male from their group steps forward, holding up his hands. He has something, a large tortoise, still alive. A trade. They'll take the zebra's back legs and organs. You get the front, plus the tortoise. It's less meat, but no bloodshed. Your group's eldest male considers. He looks at the pregnant females, at the children already showing signs of malnutrition. He nods. Both groups descend on the carcass together, working in tense cooperation. You use your freshly knapped stone to saw through hide, the sharp edge already dulling against the tough tissue. Beside you, a female from the other group works with an identical tool. Her technique slightly different, she twists as she cuts. An innovation your group hasn't discovered. You watch, learn, file it away. If you survive to tomorrow, you'll try her method. The lions could return any moment. Hyenas are certainly watching. Every second at this carcass is borrowed time with mounting interest. Both groups work with desperate efficiency. Nobody talking, everyone listening for the sound of returning death. When the meat is divided, the groups separate without ceremony. No goodbyes in a world where goodbye is always implied. You carry a zebra foreleg over your shoulder, blood running down your back, advertising your position to every predator downwind. But for now, you have meat. For now, you're alive. For now is all Homo Habilis ever has. The baboons found the termite mound first, but baboons are idiots. They're hitting it with rocks, trying to break it open through brute force. The termite soldiers are swarming out, biting the baboons' hands, making them shriek and dance. Your group watches from a safe distance. Let them waste their energy. Let them take the bites. You'll move in when they give up. Termites are protein most predators ignore, which makes them perfect for creatures like you who live on the margins of everyone else's menu. Your stomach, adapted for opportunistic omnivory, can handle the formic acid that makes termites taste like battery acid. It's not pleasant, but pleasant is a luxury no Homo habilis can afford. The baboons eventually retreat, nursing their swollen fingers. Your group moves in, but you don't attack the mound directly. You've learned, or rather, the survivors have learned that there's a better way. You take thin sticks, stripping them of bark with your teeth. The stick goes into the termite hole, twisted gently. The soldiers attack it, latching on with their mandibles. You pull out the stick, now covered with angry protein, and scrape them off with your teeth. They taste like anger and acid, but each one is a tiny package of nutrients your brain desperately needs. A child tries to copy you but pushes too hard. The stick breaks inside the hole, ruining that entrance. His mother cuffs him not cruelly, just education through pain. The only teaching method that ensures lessons are remembered when forgetting means death. The termite harvesting is interrupted by a sound that freezes every Homo habilis in place. Laughing, not human laughter. You won't develop that for millennia. This is the sound of spotted hyenas, and they're not laughing because something's funny. They're laughing because they're coordinating, and coordinated hyenas are death. Your group is in the open, 50 yards from any trees you could climb. The hyenas emerge from the tall grass, 12 of them. More than enough to kill everyone here. But they're not charging. They're smart. They're watching. They're deciding if you're worth the effort. Your males grab stones and begin the display, screaming, jumping, throwing rocks with accuracy that comes from a lifetime of having nothing but throwing ability to keep you alive. It's not about hurting the hyenas. It's about being more trouble than you're worth. One hyena, younger and hungrier than the rest, makes a probe. It rushes forward 10 feet, testing your response. Every rock-holding hand swivels toward it. The stones fly, most miss, but one catches its shoulder. Not enough to injure, but enough to hurt. The hyena retreats, and the matriarch of the pack makes their decision with a sound that's half bark, half laugh. They melt back into the grass, but you know they're not going far. They'll follow you. They always follow you, waiting for someone to fall behind, to stumble, to show weakness. You abandon the termite mound immediately. Protein isn't worth being surrounded. The group moves in its standard formation. A human herd with the weakest in the center, everyone watching a different direction. The child who broke his stick is crying silently, tears cutting tracks through the dirt on his face. He knows his mistake could have killed everyone. Behind you, the baboons have already returned to the termite mound, taking advantage of your opened holes. You want to resent them, but resentment requires energy you don't have. You're Homo habilis. Everything takes your food, your water, your children. You just have to be smart enough to find more before you run out of group members to lose. The sun is starting its descent. In 2 hours, darkness will return. And in darkness, you're not even apex scavenger. You're just meat that hasn't stopped moving yet. The baobab tree is your goal. Its massive trunk hollow enough to shelter half your group. Its height beyond the reach of most predators. But it's 300 yards away, and the sun is a dying ember on the horizon. In 15 minutes, darkness will own the savannah, and everything that hunts you sees better in the dark than you do. The group moves faster now, the exhaustion of the day overridden by the terror of night. Children who complained of hunger all day suddenly find energy to keep up. Even the elderly woman, with the infected tooth abscess, forces herself forward. Darkness doesn't care that you're tired. You're carrying the zebra leg, its weight making your spine scream. But dropping it means no breakfast, and no breakfast means someone dies tomorrow. The blood has dried on your back, creating an itchy map of today's small victory. Flies cloud around you. They're buzzing, advertising your position like a beacon. Something roars in the distance. Lion, but far enough away to be tomorrow's problem. The immediate threat is the tall grass you must cross, shoulder-height vegetation that could hide anything. Your group bunches closer, children lifted onto shoulders despite exhausted muscles. Better to see death coming. Halfway through the grass, it happens. The attack comes from 3 sides simultaneously. Painted wolves, African wild dogs, their coordinated assault so perfect it seems choreographed. They don't roar or announce themselves. They just appear, teeth finding calves and hamstrings with surgical precision. Your group explodes into chaos that's somehow still coordinated. Stones fly, screams meant to confuse rather than communicate fill the air. Digging sticks become spears. For 30 seconds, the grass is a battlefield where victory means survival and loss means being eaten alive. A teenager goes down, 3 dogs on him before he can scream, and mother swings her infant like a club, its weight cracking against a dog's skull. Your own stone finds a painted shoulder, buying someone somewhere a second of time. Then, as quickly as they came, the dogs retreat. They have what they wanted. The teenager's body dragged into the grass, his last sounds mercifully muffled by distance. The pack will eat him alive, but at least you won't have to watch. The group doesn't stop to mourn. Mourning is a luxury for creatures with time, and darkness is consuming the sky like spilled ink. You run now, all pretense of cautious movement abandoned. The baobab looms ahead, its trunk scarred by a million desperate climbs. Your group swarms up the tree, using handholds worn smooth by generations of Homo Habilis seeking safety. Your long arms, useless for running, finally serve their purpose. You climb with an efficiency your descendants will lose, hauling yourself up 15 feet in seconds. But the tree is occupied. A leopard, female with cubs, snarls from a high branch. She was here first. This is her night shelter. But there are 70 of you and 3 of her, and mathematics wins. Your group throws stones, strikes with sticks, makes itself unbearable. She grabs a cub in her mouth, then another, and descends the far side of the tree, melting into darkness, with a look that promises death if she finds any of you alone. Your group settles into the hollow and branches, bodies pressed together for warmth and the illusion of safety. The zebra leg is wedged between branches, safe from ground scavengers, but probably not from the leopard if she returns. Below, eyes begin to reflect the rising moon. Hyenas, lions, things you don't have names for. They know you're here. They know you have meat. They're patient. A child whimpers. Its mother holds it closer, understanding that silence is survival, but also knowing that children don't understand death, only discomfort. You press your wounded foot against the bark, the pain keeping you awake. Someone must watch. Someone always must watch. The stars emerge, brilliant in the unpolluted sky. They mean nothing to you. You haven't developed the cognitive capacity for wonder yet. They're just dots. The only lights that matter are the ones moving below predator eyes that blink and shift and wait. You're Homo Habilis, and you've survived another day. 66 of you started this morning. 63 made it to the tree. That's actually a good day. Some days, half don't make it. Tomorrow will bring the same terrors, the same desperate scramble for calories, the same mathematics of loss. But for now, pressed between your family in a hollow tree, you're alive. You close your eyes, not to sleep, but to rest. Real sleep is for creatures that don't live at the bottom of the food chain. Something screams in the distance, whether predator or prey, you can't tell. In your world, everyone is both. The bark against your back has worn through your skin, but moving might wake the infant sleeping against your chest, and a crying baby at night is a death sentence for everyone. You've been awake for 3 hours, taking your turn as watcher, while others fitfully doze. Your eyes have adjusted to the darkness as much as they ever will, which is to say, barely. The moon is half full, casting everything in silver and shadow. Below, things move that shouldn't exist. A Dinophilis has been circling the tree for an hour. The false saber-tooth is perfectly designed to kill primates. Its teeth are shorter than true saber-tooths, but stronger, made for crushing skulls, not slashing throats. It climbs better than lions, sees better than leopards, and has a particular taste for things your size. The only reason it hasn't attacked is the thorn bush your group piled around the tree's base. But thorns are just pain, and predators with empty stomachs learn to ignore pain. Someone shifts in their sleep, dislodging a small stone. It falls, clicking against branches before hitting the ground. The Dinophilus stops, orients toward the sound. In the moonlight, you see its muscles bunch. It's going to try climbing. You grip your stone tool, laughable defense against those teeth, and make the only sound that might help. A low, gurgling growl you've learned from the leopards. It means, I see you. I'm ready. This will cost you. The cat pauses, not because it's scared, but because it's calculating. Energy spent fighting is energy not available for hunting. There are easier meals. A lone antelope calf. A wounded warthog. It doesn't need to fight 70 desperate apes for the privilege of eating one. After eternity compressed into minutes, it walks away, disappearing into grass that immediately erases its passage. You don't relax. Predators that leave come back. Everything comes back. Your shift as watcher is nearly over when you notice the smell. Death. Fresh death. Close. Your eyes scan the tree, counting sleeping forms in the darkness. The number is wrong. Someone is missing. Your brain, evolved for exactly this kind of social mathematics, knows immediately who. The old woman with the infected tooth. You find her wedged between two branches, 10 feet up. Still warm, but not breathing. The infection finally won. She died quietly, probably trying not to wake anyone, because even in death, Homo Habilis tries not to be a burden. You should wake others, but what's the point? Nothing can be done until dawn, and sleep is as precious as water. So you sit with the dead, watching the ground, listening to the night sounds of prehistoric Africa. Something large bellows in the distance. Buffalo maybe. Or something your descendants won't have a name for because you'll drive it extinct. A hyena appears directly below, looking up. It smells the death, knows there's meat in the tree. It makes that sound, not quite laugh, not quite bark, that summons others. Within minutes, 6 hyenas wait below. They know you can't stay in the tree forever. They know the corpse will eventually fall or be lowered. They're patient. Your stomach cramps with hunger despite the termites and small portion of zebra. Your foot throbs where the morning's thorn pierced it, probably infected, probably the thing that will kill you within the week. Your joints ache from malnutrition and the constant stress of being hunted. You're 17 years old, and you're already old. Most of your childhood group is dead. You've seen them taken by crocodiles, torn apart by dogs, crushed by elephants, and withered by disease. You'll never see 20. Almost nobody sees 20. But your genes don't care about your suffering. They only care that you've already mated twice, producing 3 offspring. One was taken by an eagle at 6 months. Another died of something that made her bowels leak blood. But one survives a 2-year-old male with your stubborn jaw and his mother's quick eyes. He's sleeping now, pressed between other children in the safest part of the hollow. He doesn't know his grandmother died tonight, doesn't know that 70% of his playmates won't reach breeding age, doesn't know that his entire existence depends on your group's ability to steal scraps and avoid being eaten for just a few more years. You shift the corpse slightly, making sure it won't fall, and take a living child with it. The dead woman's face is peaceful in the moonlight. She made it to 28. She saw her genes passed on. In your world, that's victory. Dawn is still hours away. More eyes have joined the hyenas below. You grip your shaped stone and continue watching. Your eyes burning with exhaustion but not daring to close. You're Homo Habilis. Sleep is death. Vigilance is life. And life, however horrible, is all you have. The leopard returns exactly when you expected, that liminal moment, when night surrenders to day, but darkness still owns the ground. She wants her tree back. You can see her cubs hidden in the grass, waiting for their mother to reclaim their shelter. But 63 living Homo Habilis and 1 corpse aren't moving. This is going to get ugly. Your group is waking badly, joints locked from sleeping in awkward positions, children crying from hunger, everyone dehydrated because nobody drinks before climbing. To safety, a full bladder at night means climbing down, and climbing down means death. The leopard begins her psychological warfare. She climbs a neighboring tree, close enough that you can smell her predator, musk, and old blood. She coughs. That sawing sound that triggers primal fear in your monkey brain. Several infants start crying, their mothers desperately trying to silence them. But something unexpected happens. The corpse of the old woman, wedged between branches all night, shifts. Gravity and decomposition finally win. She falls, hitting branches on the way down, landing with a wet sound that makes everyone flinch. The leopard and hyenas converge on the body simultaneously. What follows is a lesson in predator hierarchy. The leopard gets first choice, she grabs an arm and drags the corpse away from the hyenas. But she can't climb with it, can't escape the mob. The hyenas circle, darting in to grab pieces when she's distracted. Wild dogs arrive, then jackals. Your grandmother becomes a feeding frenzy. This is perfect for your group. While every predator in the area fights over the corpse, you descend the tree, fast, organized, no sentiment for the dead because sentiment is a luxury for creatures that don't live in constant fear. You hit the ground running, your infected foot screaming with each impact. The group moves as one organism, flowing across the savanna in the pale pre-dawn light. Behind you, the sounds of feeding grow fainter. The old woman's final gift, her meat buying you time to escape. The destination is a rocky outcrop 2 miles away. Not as safe as the baobab, but it has caves. More importantly, it has a seasonal spring that might still have water. Your group's knowledge of every water source within a day's walk is the only reason you're not extinct. Halfway there, disaster. Another Homo Habilis group is already at the outcrop. Larger than yours, maybe 90 individuals. Well-fed, which means they've had recent luck with scavenging. They watch your approach with the calculating stare of creatures deciding whether to share or fight. Your eldest male makes the submissive approach, hands visible, no stones, head slightly lowered. Not begging beggars get killed, but acknowledging their precedence. His body language asks a simple question: can we share the water? Their leader, scarred from a lifetime of near-death experiences, evaluates. Your group is smaller, weaker, has injured members, but you also have that zebra leg, now starting to smell but still calories. He makes a gesture, water for meat. Your group agrees instantly. Meat can be found again. Water can't be created. The trade happens without language because language hasn't evolved enough for negotiation. Just gestures, expressions, the universal mathematics of survival. You drink from the spring in order of hierarchy, mothers with infants first, then children, then productive adults, finally the injured and elderly. You're near the back, your infected foot marking you as probably dying. The water tastes like minerals and monkey piss, but your cells sing with hydration. As the sun rises, painting the African savanna in gold and blood, both groups settle into an uneasy coexistence. Their children play with yours, play being practiced for survival. Their females eye your males, calculating genetic potential. Your males eye their tools, noting innovations worth copying. For a brief moment, it's almost peaceful. Two groups of humanity's ancestors, sharing space without killing each other. It won't last, it never does, but for now, the mathematics favor cooperation. You sit on a rock, using a twig to clean the infection from your foot. Pus and blood drain out, and you pack the wound with crushed leaves your mother taught you about before a crocodile took her. The leaves might help, probably won't, but doing something feels better than waiting to die. Around you, 93 Homo Habilis go about the business of surviving another day, making tools, grooming for parasites, teaching children which plants hurt and which ones heal. It's not civilization that's still 2 million years away, but it's the seed of it. Cooperation born from desperation, learning born from death, culture born from the simple need to not be eaten. You're Homo Habilis, and against all odds, all logic, all probability, you're still alive as the sun rises on another day in hell. The screaming starts during breakfast. Your group is sharing the zebra leg, now putrid but still precious, when the child begins convulsing. 5 years old. She seemed fine yesterday. Now foam pours from her mouth, her eyes rolled back, her small body jerking in ways that make everyone step back. Disease. The invisible predator that kills more Homo Habilis than all the cats combined. Her mother holds her, knowing it's useless, knowing that once the shaking starts, death follows. But maternal instinct doesn't calculate odds. The child's body temperature spikes so high, you can feel heat radiating from her skin. Then she stops moving. Just like that. Alive to dead in 3 minutes. The other group watches nervously. Disease might spread. They make the gesture leave now, or we make you leave. Your group doesn't argue. You've lost the outcrop, but gained knowledge. That water source is contaminated. Don't return. Your band moves out, now 62, carrying a dead child because her mother won't let go. She'll carry the corpse until it literally falls apart or until she dies. Whichever comes first. Probably the latter. The morning sun is already brutal. Your infected foot has swollen overnight, despite the medicinal leaves. Each step sends lightning through your leg. You're falling behind. And falling behind means the painted dogs take you at 7:47 a.m. They come from nowhere, everywhere, coordinated like a single organism with 40 legs and 20 mouths. You don't even have time to scream. Teeth find your throat, your gut, your hamstrings. Simultaneously, you fall, and the world becomes teeth and dust. But here's the thing about dying as prey. It's faster than you'd think. The dogs are efficient. They eat you alive, yes, but shock takes you quickly. Your vision narrows to a tunnel, then a point, then nothing. Your last thought isn't profound. It's not about your offspring or your legacy. It's just surprise that death tastes like copper and sounds like your own bones breaking. The group doesn't stop. Can't stop. Your 2-year-old son doesn't understand why you're not there anymore. His brain hasn't developed the capacity for grief yet. He just knows the arithmetic changed. 62 became 61. Your genes, however, succeeded. That 2-year-old carries half your genetic code into the future. He carries your stubborn jaw, your quick hands, your ability to see patterns in stone that become tools. He carries the mutation that makes his brain 3% larger than his grandfather's. He'll survive the day, the week. With luck, he'll reach breeding age at 12. He'll pass on those genes, including the ones that made you slightly better at napping stone, slightly better at calculating predator behavior, slightly better at cooperating with creatures you should compete with. Generation by generation, these tiny advantages accumulate. Better tools, bigger brains, more complex cooperation. Your descendants will master fire, develop language, paint caves, cross oceans. They'll build cities where your outcrop stood, drain seas where you died of thirst, exterminate the predators that terrorized you. They'll become the apex predator you never were. But right now, in this moment, you're just meat being efficiently processed by painted dogs. Your bones will be cracked for marrow. Your skull will be crushed for brains. Every calorie you accumulated will fuel other organisms. Nothing wasted. The group continues north, following rumors of a carcass. They've already forgotten your name if you had one. Individual identity is a luxury for creatures with surplus calories. You're just the one who shaped good stones and got taken by dogs. Tomorrow, someone else will shape the stones. By noon, vultures circle where you died. By evening, only scattered bones remain. By next season, even those are gone, dissolved into African soil that will grow grass, that will feed antelopes, that will be killed by predators, that will be scavenged by creatures like you used to be. You're Homo Habilis. You lived 14 years, 4 months, and 16 days. You mated twice, produced 3 offspring, 1 survived. You shaped approximately 400 stone tools, extracted 15,000 calories from marrow, walked 30,000 miles, and spent every single moment of your existence terrified. But your son lives, and his children will live, and their children's children will one day stand where you died, holding machines that detect the calcium from your bones still present in the soil. They'll reconstruct your life from isotopes and cut marks. They'll call you an ancestor. They'll never truly understand the terror, the hunger, the desperate mathematics of survival, how every sunrise was a victory and every sunset a threat, how you weren't living, but just dying slowly enough to reproduce. You were Homo Habilis, handyman, toolmaker, bottom of the food chain, evolutionary rough draft, and you were magnificent in your desperation. The cycle continues. Somewhere, your son shapes his first stone, hands trembling with the same fear that defined your every moment. He doesn't know he's carrying humanity's future in his genes. He just knows he's hungry, and everything wants to eat him. Welcome to 24 hours as Homo Habilis. Population: declining. Survival rate: theoretical. Legacy: everything.